This trio is a total disaster. The grand vision is burning. For the real story, you must grill Luka on his playbook memory since LeBron James just publicly scorched him post-game. He completely exposed the toxic atmosphere and internal strife that the Lakers have been desperately trying to keep quiet. This entire meltdown traces back to his own son, Bronny James. Let's look at the moment the franchise fractured. On February 24, 2026, the Lakers fell to the Magic 110-109 in a game meant for Luka. Instead of a win, LeBron sat at the mic weighing every word while the basketball world demanded answers. What kind of hell is breaking loose behind those locked locker room doors? Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe for the inside dirt. Here is the play-by-play of the collapse. As the clock bled out with the Lakers trailing by 1, the coaching staff drew up a tactical masterpiece. It was a play designed specifically to give Luka Doncic a wide-open look for the win. The setup looked perfect, playing out just like the diagram drawn on the clipboard. Doncic shook his defender and found himself totally alone at the arc, with plenty of time for a high-quality shot. Then, in a heartbeat that made no sense for a world-class closer, he completely locked up. He wasted the chance, put the ball down, and dumped a grenade to LeBron, who was falling out of bounds. Final whistle, Orlando takes the victory. That loss dropped the Lakers to a pathetic 4-6 at home, while Paolo Banchero dominated with 36 points. Meanwhile, Doncic was a ghost, shooting 8 for 24 and a miserable 2 for 10 from deep. The real fireworks started during the media session, where the narrative took a sharp, spectacular turn for the worse. When asked about the final possession, Luka claimed he felt he was drifting a bit too far out. Let that weak excuse sink in. We are talking about Doncic, the man who drains half-court shots while mocking defenders. Now he is suddenly claiming a standard, unguarded jump shot was too deep for his comfort? Not a single defender was within 10 feet of him when he decided to start dribbling. Admitting it was a mistake proves even he knows his basketball IQ failed him in an unjustifiable way. But the real bomb dropped when the reporters turned their focus toward the king. The champion did not sugarcoat it, launching a calculated and cold-blooded strike against his teammate on national television. LeBron told them they had to ask Luka what he saw because it looked like a perfect look. You have to ask Luka, those 5 words signaled a massive internal rift. Notice what LeBron purposefully skipped. He did not say the team failed. He did not give a standard, boring professional response. He pointed the finger right at Doncic and told the media to demand answers because he was not covering for him. He mentioned a lack of rhythm, or whatever the issue might have been. That hesitation let the defense recover, and LeBron wanted his stance to be crystal clear for everyone. He made sure every reporter knew the pass he received was absolute trash he could not do anything with. Then came the finishing blow, delivered like a judge slamming a gavel. He had his mind made up. He said he thought it was a great look, but emphasized that was just his personal perspective. Fans and critics immediately saw it as LeBron throwing Luka under the bus in a massive power move. If you are enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button. The headlines were everywhere by morning, and even though Luka took full responsibility, the bridge was already burned. You simply cannot take back that kind of public humiliation between two superstars. This was not just a botched play, it was the final straw for a locker room rotting for months. Analysts tore through the film the next day, and the final verdict was completely unanimous. The match concluded in total, unmitigated shambles. The play was executed with surgical precision, and honestly, you could not ask for a better look than that. Every player on the floor was exactly where they needed to be. Luka had the dream shot. It was the kind of buzzer beater every kid dreams of taking with not a single defender in sight. Yet, he inexplicably gave up the ball to a teammate who was in no position to score. Whatever was ticking inside his brain, dismissing that as a simple slip-up by Luka, feels like a massive understatement. He flat-out refused to pull the trigger. Calling it a momentary lapse is just a polite way of describing a total psychological collapse. See, this disaster came from a cornerstone who was already hitting a brick wall, sinking a mere 8 of 24 shots and a pathetic 2 of 10 from beyond the arc that very night. According to analyst Zach Lowe, watching this guy has become nearly unbearable lately because his endless quarreling with the officials is literally sabotaging his team's defense on almost every play. Think about it. Even the Lakers' own broadcast crew was practically screaming for him to stop the whining, as he kept missing vital defensive assignments that handed easy buckets to the other side. Before we peel back the layers of this train wreck, make sure to strap in and hit that subscribe button because the drama is about to explode. Lowe hit the nail on the head. Tuning into a Luka game has become a grueling task thanks to his non-stop laundry list of complaints. The constant bellyaching has grown into such a massive distraction that it's starting to overshadow his once-in-a-generation talent. One commentator put it perfectly. The obsession with drawing fouls and the subsequent temper tantrums have poisoned Doncic's game and drained the team's will to fight. The whole Luka saga, it's getting nasty, and frankly, it's becoming soul-crushing just to sit through as a viewer. Just picture his teammates busting their tails on defense while he's still mid-argument. This was the toxic environment LeBron James had to navigate while heading into that post-game presser. A crushing blow that really should have been a victory. A superstar partner who choked on the final shot, even though the entire play was drawn up just for him. A toxic cycle was tearing the squad apart, ruining their chances in a season that was crashing and burning, something nobody saw coming when Doncic first arrived in Hollywood to such fanfare. Think back to February 1st, 2025, when the Lakers landed Luka Doncic. It was a three-team blockbuster that sent Anthony Davis, Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and a mountain of draft capital away from Los Angeles. The objective was crystal clear. They wanted to link the ultimate basketball icon with the premier young floor general to hang another gold banner in the rafters. For a fleeting moment, the gamble looked like pure brilliance. Los Angeles secured the second-best record in the West after the trade. By August, Doncic even inked a 3-year, $165 million extension, seemingly all in on the Lakers. LeBron praised him as a top-tier guy, telling reporters he absolutely loved Luka's relentless mentality on the court. Yet, beneath that shiny surface and the carefully crafted media bites, a hurricane was brewing that no amount of public flattery could hold back. The source of the friction was a name everyone in the building knew but was too terrified to mention. Bronny James. The Bronny effect and the fractured locker room. If this deep dive is grabbing you, smash that like button now. To grasp why LeBron exploded after that Orlando loss, you have to understand the pressure cooker that had been simmering within the Lakers' walls. Long before that infamous press conference ever took place, the entire organization was revolving around the most debated second-round pick in the history of the sport. Bronny James was taken 55th overall by the Lakers in the 2024 draft after just 1 year at USC. And don't forget, that college run almost didn't happen because on July 24, 2023, Bronny collapsed at the Galen Center after suffering a terrifying cardiac arrest. The first responders on the scene were nothing short of legendary, administering CPR and using a heart starter on the 18-year-old before flying him to Cedars-Sinai, where he stayed in the ICU in critical condition. Doctors later found a heart defect that required immediate surgery to fix. In the Netflix documentary series, Starting 5, LeBron and Savannah James called the whole experience a waking nightmare, breaking down in front of the lens, as they recalled how they nearly lost their oldest son in an instant. Bronny finally got the green light to play in late November 2023. He debuted in December, declared for the draft that spring, and eventually made league history as part of the first-ever father-son tandem. Ever since that brush with death at the Galen Center, LeBron has been fiercely, almost obsessively protective of his son. You can't see the whole board without factoring in that trauma. Fast forward to the 25-26 season, and Bronny is averaging a measly 4 points and 2 assists in blowout minutes. He's trapped under a magnifying glass, dodging claims of nepotism from fans, the media, and even cold whispers from within the team. And if anyone thought adding Luka Doncic would fix the vibes, they were dead wrong. His entry was like throwing a match into a powder keg, triggering a systemic collapse that's shredding this historic franchise. The initial breakdown occurred on November 15, 2025, during a win against the Bucks. Luka went absolutely ballistic, scoring 41 points and single-handedly hauling the team to a victory. Meanwhile, Bronny played 10 minutes, scored 0, and logged a negative 4.2 rating. The data made it crystal clear the Lakers were completely dysfunctional whenever the rookie was on the court. Coach J.J. Redick eventually hit his limit, pulling the kid and lighting him up from the bench. Everyone saw it. Luka looked completely fed up while Bronny fumbled with the rock, practically begging him to make a move. Then, the real drama hit. If you're loving this deep dive, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe for more inside scoops. Luka hit the podium and delivered a line that split the locker room wide open. "Look, I'm here for titles, not to be a sitter." That one quote changed everything. Suddenly, two warring factions were tearing the building apart from the inside. Sources say it's officially Luka's camp versus LeBron's, with players and staff forced to pick a side based on paychecks or loyalty. Word is the King cornered Redick in private the moment the game ended. Insiders claim he was fuming over a secret clause in the coach's contract that supposedly guaranteed Bronny minutes with the Slovenian star. This was a detail Luka was totally oblivious to when he signed his massive contract extension. The fact that the brass prioritized Bronny's development in the fine print without telling their franchise leader, the man meant to be the face of the team, was seen as a massive stab in the back. But hold on, it gets worse. Sources say the beef between LeBron and Luka goes way deeper than recent quotes. We're talking about old friction that has been building up for years. Remember back in 2020, LeBron tried desperately to get Luka to join his Nike sub-brand, hoping to control the Phenom's brand. Luka declined and went with Jordan instead. That move apparently hit LeBron right in his pride. He's reportedly been holding on to that resentment for 5 full years. Clips even surfaced of James ignoring Luka's handshake in November 2025, despite being teammates for months. For a leader who markets himself as a mentor to the youth, that blatant act of disrespect spoke louder than any PR spin. And just when the tension peaked, we almost had a full-blown physical fight between the agents. Before I get into the tunnel brawl, don't forget to subscribe so you stay ahead of the game. After the Lakers lost 124-112 against the Kings on January 13, 2026, mayhem hit the tunnel. Rich Paul, the powerhouse behind the James family, got into a shouting match with Reggie Berry, who manages Austin Reeves. They were clashing over trade rumors that would send Reeves out of town just to give Bronny more minutes. Security had to step in and pull the two apart before things got physical. It didn't turn into a fight, but the message was undeniably clear to everyone there. Team LeBron seemed ready to blow up the roster and dump key players just to protect Bronny's spot, regardless of the consequences. No matter how much the front office tries to mask it, Brian Windhorst went on national TV and exposed the truth with damning numbers. The final verdict? When Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves are out there together, they're simply not a good squad. That isn't just an opinion. It's backed by brutal statistics the Lakers can't hide from. Windhorst broke down why this big three is a total train wreck. If you just play Reeves and Luka without the king, the Lakers look like championship contenders. But the moment you mix in all three, their efficiency falls off a cliff. The gap between those lineups is insane. A deep look at the analytics proves that some star power just doesn't work well together. To truly grasp the mess on the court, we're looking at a staggering 20-point difference. For every 100 possessions with Luka, Reeves, and LeBron, there is a massive 20-point swing in their performance. It fundamentally changes how the Lakers have to play the game. To put it simply, that gap is the difference between hoisting a trophy and bottoming out for a high lottery pick. And this failure happens every single time LeBron, Luka, and Reeves are on court. As Windhorst noted, it's basic logic. All three stars need the ball in their hands to be effective, and last time I checked, there's only one ball on the floor. Stephen A. Smith took it further on air, ripping into the defensive disaster that occurs whenever this trio plays together. He remarked that the Lakers had evolved into a squad that failed to strike a single ounce of terror into the hearts of Western rivals. The reasoning behind this, as Stephen A. saw it, was brutally apparent. A high-octane offense counts for nothing when your opponents are completely certain they can shred your defense every single time they have the ball. The true icons of basketball didn't reach legendary status simply by being elite scorers. Their greatness was forged in their ability to suffocate rivals with lockdown defense, effectively cutting off every possible path to the hoop. No one is intimidated by Luka on that end, and nobody is losing a wink of sleep fearing Austin Reeves' defensive pressure. Furthermore, expecting a 41-year-old LeBron James to anchor the defense at this stage of his journey is a total fantasy. Before we unpack this disaster further, show some support by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel to stay updated. Staring down an ugly defensive reality with no solutions in sight, the team's hopes for a deep playoff run were rapidly vanishing. The conversation shifted from winning titles to exiting in the first round or enduring the shame of the play-in tournament. For a franchise of this magnitude, it was a humiliating downfall, and then the final straw arrived. By February 2026, the Lakers were barely holding on to the 6th seed, having lost 4 of 6 and sitting just 2 games above the play-in line. The dream of a Luka and LeBron dynasty was transforming into a total catastrophe that the front office simply refused to acknowledge. That specific defeat against the Orlando Magic served as the catalyst that shattered the team's composure, revealing months of internal strife to the public. But this drama transcended the court. If you find this breakdown compelling, make sure to hit that subscribe button immediately. Controversy followed the roster everywhere they went, from media scrums and social gatherings to the executive boardroom. When Luka signed a massive 3-year deal worth $165 million in August 25, the organization staged a major press event. LeBron called Luka to offer his best wishes, yet his physical absence was hard to ignore. Dan Patrick gave the king a pass due to his status. However, Bronny James skipped the entire celebration without offering a single word of explanation. Dan Patrick slammed Bronny on his show for the disrespect, warning the kid that a long-term career requires showing honor to the team's leader once his father retires. This absence acted as high-octane fuel for the nepotism debate, suggesting the James camp viewed Luka as a mere supporting character rather than a true partner in the franchise's future. Even LeBron's public statements began to sour the relationship between the two superstars. During a sit-down with ESPN, he remarked that relying on a 41-year-old to be the primary defender is a recipe for disaster. While it appeared to be typical self-deprecating humor from a veteran, league insiders understood the hidden message. It was a direct jab at Luka's defensive effort, which had tanked to a terrible rating of 115 for the season. Interestingly, Bronny's rating was even worse at 120.5, but LeBron clearly avoided criticizing his own family. By early February 2026, the situation took a surreal turn as we entered a period of AI-driven controversy. A deceptive deepfake video showing LeBron physically fighting other stars, including Doncic, went completely viral across every social platform. Created using a tool called Interlink AI, the footage depicted the king landing knockout blows on Luka, Steph Curry, and Michael Jordan. Though it was a complete digital lie, the clip perfectly mirrored the chaotic atmosphere currently surrounding the team. The video featured hyper-realistic versions of Jordan and Kevin Durant, successfully tricking millions of unsuspecting viewers. This content exploded in popularity, racking up several million views within a remarkably short time frame. The truly chilling part was that many fans, exhausted by the team's drama, actually believed for a moment that LeBron had attacked Luka. Of course, the entire clip was a complete fraud, nothing more than an artificial intelligence fabrication. Technical experts were quick to tear the video apart, highlighting glitches like old jerseys on active players and the impossible presence of a young Michael Jordan competing in 2026. LeBron's top-tier legal representatives at the firm Grubman, Shire, Meiselas, and Sachs immediately sent a legal threat to FlickUp, the owner of Interlink AI, demanding they delete the unauthorized content. The founder, Jason Stax, gave in within 30 minutes, scrubbing the site and overhauling policies regarding the use of celebrity likenesses. Before we discuss the aftermath, please hit the like button if you feel AI technology is becoming a serious threat. The fact that the public fell for a fake fight proves how toxic the environment around the Los Angeles Lakers has truly become. The animosity between the two stars is so visible that a fake knockout punch didn't even seem out of character to most fans. This reality exposes the massive fractures that are currently destroying the foundation of the organization. The tension is overwhelming, and the broken dynamic is visible on the court during every single game they play. Brian Windhorst went scorched earth on First Take, providing a brutal reality check on this collapsing project. He doubled down, reporting that management is already pivoting toward a post-LeBron era, regardless of how this season concludes. Windhorst made the situation crystal clear. Next year's roster likely starts and ends with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, noting that Lon Rosen, the new basketball boss, is overhauling everything behind the scenes. If you are into this deep dive, subscribe to the channel for more updates. The warning signs are flashing in bright neon. Rob Pelinka might be the GM, but Lon Rosen, who is close with Magic Johnson and Jeannie Buss, will hold significant power when the roster is dismantled this summer. The goal is obvious: build the franchise around Luka and close the LeBron chapter for good. Right now, the heat is on Pelinka to manage the finances and build a team that actually supports Doncic as the sole leader. Meanwhile, the upcoming schedule is relentless, offering zero room for error or relaxation. The Lakers still face the Rockets, Thunder, Nuggets, and Warriors twice each in their last 25 games. Stephen A. Smith called this stretch a terminal diagnosis for a team with these flaws. You have San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama erasing shots at the rim, and an OKC squad that smothers every possession with elite defense. Then there is Denver with their championship depth and the unstoppable Nikola Jokic. Sitting at 23rd or 24th in defensive efficiency, the Lakers simply cannot get the stops needed to survive a high-intensity playoff series. The grim reality is Los Angeles does not have a prayer against the league's top contenders. That is why every analyst watching this train wreck knows the team is in serious trouble. Whether they sneak in as a low seed or not, Luka's constant bickering with the refs is the final straw. His habit of arguing calls instead of running back on defense is hurting the team. It is literally bleeding points in games that will decide their postseason fate. It destroys momentum and prevents winning. Nothing hurts more than seeing your star frozen in the backcourt while the opponent scores an easy 5-on-4 bucket, like in that heartbreaker against Orlando. Those missed defensive rotations are the difference between a win and a loss. Picture the scene. Doncic is stuck at midcourt yelling at a ref while the opposition runs a surgical fast break. That is a failure the Lakers cannot tolerate when every night is an elimination game. When you lose by a bucket because you were too busy complaining to play defense, it kills the locker room. Before the expert take, hit that subscribe button for raw NBA analysis. One analyst finally voiced what every Laker fan has been whispering, but was too afraid to say given Luka's massive stardom and influence. This reputation is sticking to Luka, and he is way too gifted for whining to be his legacy. So, let us look at the harsh facts facing Los Angeles during this critical run. LeBron James is 41 years old, protecting his son with the fierce intensity of a father who watched that boy collapse from cardiac arrest 2.5 years ago. Through calculated comments, the king is signaling that he no longer trusts his co-star to lead when the pressure is highest. Luka Doncic is 26, a basketball genius capable of plays only legends could dream of. Yet, he is held back by his own temper and a locker room fractured over a certain second-round pick. Bronny James is caught in the middle of this drama. A kid who nearly died is now the lightning rod for the most toxic team environment in the league. Meanwhile, the front office is eyeing a summer demolition where the roster is leveled and rebuilt around whoever remains. LeBron never attacked Luka physically, but his post-game words after the Orlando loss, delivered under the harsh media lights, did more damage than a fight ever could. He sowed doubt. He shifted the blame. He signaled to the world that the partnership with Doncic was a broken promise, far from the championship duo fans were promised. Surrounded by fragile temperaments, towering pride, and soul-crushing stakes, just one crack in their confidence could finally shatter the Lakers' championship dreams forever. We're finished with this breakdown, but hang tight since a wave of legendary highlights is hitting the channel right now. Hit those thumbnails flashing across the display this second to continue your epic marathon session.